If you have some concern or some fear, maybe, or wariness about getting involved with therapeutic work or talking therapies, because you feel that you'll have to go into your past and spend a lot of time talking about your past, and that will be difficult and maybe keep you stuck, then there may be some truth in that. But there's also a different perspective and a range of approaches. Let's just open up the context a bit more first. That if we are storing, if we have past pain that we're holding on to, that past pain is in our consciousness. It's in our body system. And we're already carrying this weight inside us. And that itself is painful and limiting. For instance, because this pain is there and it can emerge, it can come up into the present moment, this past pain and emotions that are buried can surface. We can end up in behaviors that lead us to avoid that pain, but are also limiting and maybe compulsive. So let's say there's a moment where we're experiencing this past pain, some emotion, and we may not quite be aware of it. We may end up reaching out for food and into compulsive eating or into social media to distract ourselves, or some kind of substance that will ease the feeling and numb us from that pain. So we can get involved with these kinds of compulsive type behaviors because of the past pain that is buried there and that hasn't been dealt with. Also, it's there in consciousness. It's clouding our consciousness. It's preventing us from going deeper and from accessing our true essence and our life force. And when we're not connected with, and when that life force, that essence isn't coming through, then our ability to enjoy, to perceive the richness of relationships, to perceive the beauty of the world around us, that capacity is now limited. So just to reiterate, with past pain stored in our systems, that is limiting, that itself is an existence that is painful. So let's look at therapeutic approaches. There are many kinds of therapeutic approaches. And I'm going to focus on some qualities of the approach that my own work centers around with my clients. And that I would describe as an essence-based somatic healing or somatic therapeutic approach. And what this involves, instead of talking about the past, it involves feeling in the body. The body doesn't lie. And when we bring up that which is buried and we actually feel it in the body without going into story, then there's a connection and there's a kind of meaning in that connection. We feel that raw emotion without the resistance, and it can come through us much more seamlessly. And we can go to deeper levels through the emotion that we experience in the body is like a doorway that can take us to deeper levels. We can really connect with that past pain in a direct way without having to go into the story. And we can go deeper than that, right to our essence, right to that more expanded experience that is beyond our past. And in this more expanded experience of ease, that's the context. It's like the container's expanded, and that's the context in which any past trauma can be released in a much more effortless, much more graceful way. So if we engage with this kind of work, the qualities of which is going into the body felt experience rather than the intellect, and of connecting with essence, there's a release that is much more graceful. And as we've released past pain, as our consciousness is becoming clearer, the veil is now lighter. Our perception of the world is enhanced. Our ability to appreciate the beauty in the world, in the other than human world, is enhanced. Our ability to experience the richness in our relationships is enhanced. And that is liberatory. And so in the wider world, when we're doing this kind of work, our ability to engage in a more meaningful way with our fellow human beings is increased. Our ability to listen, to really tune in to what they're attempting to communicate to us, and therefore respond in a way that responds to what they are communicating, and they will be able to hear it. That really enriches relationships. It allows us, if we're organizing for a better world, it allows us to organize in a much more collaborative, cooperative, and creative way. And if we're engaging with something we're resisting, some people use the term enemy, which I'm not always comfortable with, but even engaging with those who we vociferously disagree with or may consider even enemies, our ability to tune into the nuances of that landscape is enhanced. And we can respond, therefore, with more choice. And that is liberatory. And so what this work brings is not the entire set of tools that we need, but it does bring forward a really valuable component that is liberatory for us as an individual and is a component for wider liberation in the world. We need a range of components in terms of collective liberation. We need this kind of work, and we also need to be able to develop systems of collective care, of mutual aid, and build collective power in order to really have collective liberation and liberate us from the systems that are dysfunctional and destroying human societies and the planet. So this is vital work, of which this somatic essence-based type work is a really valuable component. So in summary, yes, it can be difficult and not always helpful to go into our past and talk endlessly about it. Yet, if we work through the body to access past pain and past trauma, and in particular, if we can open into that expanded essence-based experience, there's a much smoother release of past pain and past trauma. And that is liberatory. It's liberatory at an individual level, and it's a component for wider collective liberation. And if you'd like support with connecting and feeling your emotions and accessing deeper levels of experience, there's a guided audio that I developed with a support document and a e-newsletter. The link, I'll put that in the description or in the comment as best seems to fit. So that's available, and if you would like to receive more insights and explorations, hear more explorations on individual and collective liberation, it'd be wonderful. It always helps if you can give this a thumbs up, a like, and feel free also to follow. I look forward to seeing you on the next video.